What on earth do modern-day Nazis actually want? They can't reasonably be hoping for another Holocaust-type outcome. What do they actually want that actually has a possibility of succeeding? Groups that you'd call Nazi 100 want another Holocaust. Hitler didn't go from "I hate Jews" to "kill all Jews." There were steps in between. One thing Hitler thought up was forcing all Jews to move to Madagascar. The reason why I bring this up is because many neo-Nazis today won't use genocidal language but will talk about separation. If you ask how you get that separation, you'll only get crickets, because they know that force is the only way. They can't reasonably. You see that word at the end there? It doesn't apply. Edit: I've disabled inbox replies to this because somehow people interpreted this as me supporting Nazis. Let me be clear that in no way is this remotely correct. American Nazis? They want someone to blame for their lives being crap. And they've been trained for most of their lives to not consider that it could be their bosses, landlords, or anyone with actual power to influence their lives. So they're told to blame minorities, immigrants, gays, anyone other than those that actually have an effect on their condition. Key word is reasonably. The answer is yes, they do want another Holocaust-type outcome for groups they don't like, ideally. The point is they feel wronged by the very existence of certain people, and they don't care if they can realistically succeed or not, because hate isn't reasonable. A. They aren't rational or reasonable, and B. TBH, they'd probably take a genocide or two, can't lie. All the pesky gays, trans, and brown people gone, they don't care how. These people are stupid, lost and brainwashed. They don't know what they want, they just know who they hate, and that's whoever they listen to points at next. I worked with a Nazi back around 15, that was interesting. He hated anyone who wasn't of German or Austrian heritage, wanted the Jews dead, was okay with working with the lesser races, but not interbreeding. Half-breeds should be sterilized or killed, the creation of a white ethno-state that would and should be run by pure Aryans. He explained how even if you were white didn't make you his equal. Oh yeah, almost forgot, he said that the LGBTQ would be euthanized along with the mentality ill. Nazis are just full of hate. They don't have any goal except for projecting their hate at whatever minority is currently on the spotlight of their anger. They are in the dehumanizing stage of a Holocaust. Calling LGBT groomers and trans people not people and other horrible things. They are dehumanizing us for two reasons. So it won't hurt their own feelings if they get the chance to round us up, and people won't fight on our behalf. If all they are doing is rounding up groomers and inhuman freaks, they are doing you a favor, not committing mass murder. Some people are so desperate to feel like they belong that they would rather be one of the bad guys than be just a guy. To feel superior to others by creating terror. Same thing all bullies want, they feel small and inadequate and group together with other small scared people and terrorize people into fearing them. You didn't see the person at J6 wearing a hoodie that said 6 million wasn't enough. Yeah, they want another Holocaust and to finish what they started 80 years ago. Generally they want a platform to spread their hatred. Specifically, they definitely want to hurt as many minorities, non-white people as possible. Pretty similar goals to WW2 era Nazis. I can't recall the specifics, but there was someone in the news recently who was a Nazi. Their father had tried to talk them out of it, saying at some point they'll make you shovel bodies into the furnace too. People forget Weimar Germany was one of the most progressive states in Europe before the Nazis' rise to power. Gay people were openly accepted, so much so that gay royalty from elsewhere would travel to Germany to partake in this atmosphere. They also had some of the most progressive policies on abortion at the time. History is not an unceasing march of progress, the Dark Ages were a thing. To think that it could never happen again seems incredibly naive and privileged. They know they won't achieve what they want. Have you ever noticed these Nazis are always losers who never did anything with their lives? They need a way to feel they're superior despite being losers. So they claim they have superior genes based mostly on past European dominance that they weren't even alive for. Because they aren't capable of achieving anything special, they simply say, well, I'm white so I'm superior, and now they can feel better about being a waste of oxygen. Nazis aren't known for being rational people. Their most achievable measurable goal is the eradication of trans people. but most of their goals aren't measurable, and the way they go about achieving them doesn't make sense. They want some return to what some would call a traditional way of life. They want forced unity and nationalistic pride. They hate democracy and social progress. White supremacy. Violence. Nasty stuff. You have to be kidding if you think they would hesitate to exterminate their enemies. I think they want a pure white race. I think it's unachievable because we are all just a little of this and that. They want an ethno-state. They want to be the people on top, and everybody else either serves them or dies. They want absolute power with zero oversight. Attention. What on earth do modern-day Nazis actually want? They want the Turner Diaries to become a documentary. Nazis in the US want to maintain white cultural dominance through violence. Hugo Boss uniforms? They want what they've always wanted. Power. There's a whole lot more to it, but can't be stated enough that they also do fully want another Holocaust-type outcome. They want laws passed or repealed that promote their own race and agenda. Repeal of civil rights acts. Repeal of affirmative action. Strict border enforcement. Their race language recognized as the national race language. Companies stop promoting minorities. Ability to actively discriminate. Etc. Some of them just want an excuse to exhibit their innermost darkest inclinations. The ones who actually have a plan want to create a toxic environment for those they deem undesirable so that they will leave their communities. Mexico had a Nazi party in the 1930s, and the only reason anyone remembers them today is Diego Rivera put them in one of his murals. I don't think they ever had more than 30 members. Attention. Most of them are so socially dysfunctional that they embrace the role of villain and the attention that comes with that. They are Martin Shkreli types except with no money. It is exactly another Holocaust. They believe that Jewish people run the Illuminati and have machines that control the weather. And release a chemical in the water to make white men gay to destroy the white race. These people are completely crazy and live in a separate reality from us. They can't be reasoned with. Attention mostly. Race war, ethno-state, homogeneous living with no pushback on racism. I guess they just want to bring back the fashion sense of the 1940s. They want anything that would harm minority groups. If communist policies turned out to hurt black people, they would implement them in a heartbeat. They're completely incoherent ideologically, and because they're reactionary, they don't put forth any goals to work towards, so it's literally just evil. A white, European ethno-state with limited migration. Deep down? They just want to be different and chose one of the worst possible ways to achieve that. The same is true of a great number of other, but how could you possibly? Type groups. The reason they have decided to become Nazis and fascists is because they're crazy in the first place, and they don't know what they want. So you really can't ask them this question. The same goes for racists and homophobes as well. They're just crazy. Now you know why Ronald Reagan changed how we treat with mentally challenged people in this country. He needed his people set free from the institutions to vote for him. And we know why he changed the fairness doctrine as well. Insidious reasons, all. Modern Nazis, even if they deny the Holocaust, want another one to happen. The smartest Nazis on the planet and their collective minds came to the conclusion that killing all Jews, socialist and gay people was the right answer. Safe to say there isn't a lot of critical thinking going on. They don't actually know. The actual Nazis would have put them up against the wall. Holocaust was not an official agenda. This was not bragged about, it was a hidden matter. Of course, the Nazi posters claimed to get rid of the plague, but not so literally. Don't expect the Holocaust to fall as an election proposition. But that doesn't mean it can't happen again. Attention. They do want another Holocaust genocide. Modern-day Nazis are trying to pick up where the previous Nazis left off. Edit. Typo.